Now that I have 2 out of the 3 eggs, I'll give you one last chance to take me up on my offer.
Where's my counteroffer?
At the beginning of the story, let's look at Agent John. John had received information that a famous thief and steal the precious gold. Despite John's repeated warnings, the museum director did not listen. He had full faith in the museum's security, but John continued his checks, making a discovery that surprised everyone involving an egg. Then alarms started going off, and people began running everywhere. Nolan was there too. When John saw him, he immediately knew Nolan was the thief. That's when John started running after him. However, Nolan used his tremendous parkour skills to mislead John and escape. He jumped inside a pipe and slid to the other side. Nolan thought he was the most vicious thief in the world. His confidence lasted only a few moments. John was later sitting at Nolan's hideout with his entire team. There was no way to fire shots, so John explained that a thief named Bishop had revealed Nolan's whereabouts. Bishop is the world's most wanted thief, with Nolan ranking second. Nolan had long been trying to take Bishop's place. An undercover agent replaced the real egg with a fake one, and that agent was none other than Bishop herself. The next day, things got worse for John. He was accused of helping the thieves because evidence was found against him. A Swiss bank account had been created in his name with $8 million deposited, which destroyed the respect John had earned over many years. He was arrested and rushed away. Meanwhile, Nolan, locked in a cold prison in Russia, slowly began to understand the situation. The real mastermind behind his capture was none other than Bishop, a clever thief who has never been caught. Nolan explained that an Egyptian billionaire had promised to pay 300 rupees to anyone who brought all 3 golden eggs to his daughter before her marriage, with $1 million prize. 2 eggs had already been found, but the 3rd was still missing. Nolan said that with John's arrival, his plan was spoiled. Now it was clear that Bishop was behind the eggs. She had trapped both Nolan and John so that no one could steal her egg, nor could anyone find her. Both Nolan and John were surprised when Bishop herself appeared, unafraid, dressed as a prison officer. Her style was different. She made an offer to Nolan. She gave him an egg, having already stolen another. Bishop did not mind Nolan's refusal and quietly left, but said one thing before departing: "I will always be 2 steps ahead of you." John was now angry with Nolan for getting out of jail so easily. Still, he told Nolan that if they worked together, it would be easier to escape the prison. Neither of them wanted to rot in jail. John's plan was to stop Bishop, retrieve the eggs, and regain his lost identity. Then he would become the world's most wanted thief. Both started planning to escape from this dangerous prison. The first part of the plan took place in the dining hall, where Nolan made a deliberate commotion, loudly shouting that John was undercover. Both Nolan and John were dragged out, and John angrily threatened Nolan not to do that again. But Nolan said it was part of his plan. During the chaos, he stole a card that would help them escape. Later, during their conversation, Nolan revealed that his father had been a policeman who never praised him, so Nolan always wanted his attention. He thought that the police pay the most attention to thieves. Their meticulous blast caused a ruckus, distracting the guards and allowing the 2 to escape. The next step was climbing the prison wall to find a way out. Nolan slipped on an icy rock and fell. When he finally reached a helicopter landing pad, the guard present was busy on his phone, enjoying Russian music and looking at a photo of Putin. He did not notice Nolan and John arriving. A missile was launched and struck the same bridge where John was present. Somehow, John escaped and reached the other side. The tremendous explosion shook the helicopter. Nolan could have taken the helicopter to Aquila and escaped, but then a second missile appeared. John quickly reacted, targeting the helicopter's second door. The missile hit the helicopter in the middle, crashing it against a mountain. John and Nolan had escaped the prison. Bishop began preparing her next move. Meanwhile, Nolan and John met Tamway, Nolan's old trusted friend, who was piloting a new plane for them. The next scene was a fortress guarded by armed men standing a little far away. There were about 90 cameras covering every corner of the whole house. The egg was kept in a special safe that was half hidden. Back in Spain, the same arms smuggler was hosting a lavish party at his house. John mingled among the guests, dressed as a wealthy man, while Nolan worked as a waiter, drinking and observing. During a long speech, John took advantage of the moment to secretly steal the dealer's phone. Little did they know that Agent Das, an Interpol officer, was silently watching everything at the party. They left the party under the pretext of going to the washroom to clean their clothes. In the washroom, they hacked the dealer's phone and retrieved the password. They sneaked inside the house. The house was filled with many precious artifacts, and in the middle of them was the second golden egg. Both of them were very happy, but suddenly the alarm was triggered. On one side was Bishop, and on the other side there was a fierce fight between their camps. In the small space, the three of them fought intensely. The next day, when Nolan and John regained consciousness, they found themselves tied up in the basement of the smuggler's house with the same weapons pointed at them. The dealer demanded to know the location of the third egg. Nolan immediately began making up a story. Then Bishop came out of the safe with a smile, taking the second egg and handing it to John and Nolan. After being released, both Nolan and John quietly left. As soon as John got out, he went straight into the middle of a bull ring. His eyes widened from the sunshine. The crowd thought he was about to fight the bull and got excited. John barely escaped the bull by turning and running away. When everything went quiet, John finally spoke from her heart for the first time, hesitating a little. Nolan listened attentively and could feel her pain. Then he revealed a secret. After World War II, a German officer fled to Argentina with a suitcase. Many years later, Nolan's father, an expert treasure hunter, found a watch, solved all the clues, and reached an old Nazi bunker hidden in the jungles of Argentina. As soon as they entered, the lights in the bunker came on, and it seemed as if time had stopped. Through a strong steel door, they found lost treasures from the Nazi era, gleaming old items from that time. But their joy did not last long. When they went to get the egg, Bishop appeared, proving she had been following them from the very beginning. Soon after, Agent Das joined. In the midst of the commotion, John, Nolan, and Bishop saw an opportunity to escape in an old car. They drove fast to get away, but suddenly the road ended, and they fell into a river through a very high water drop. Quickly, Nolan realized John was missing, so he left the egg and went back into the water in search of his friend. But John had already surfaced. Then a big truth was revealed. Both John and Bishop had played their roles so well that Nolan couldn't understand what was happening. There was a great celebration in Egypt, in a beautiful palace. The daughter of the Egyptian billionaire was getting married, and the special moment was about to come when the billionaire would place all three eggs together. The agents took control of the entire situation. Suddenly, the music stopped, replaced by screams and chaos. The guests grew nervous as soldiers attacked to seize the three eggs. Watching all this from a distance, unnoticed, Nolan and John had faint smiles on their faces. Soon, those silent thieves left the place. So for about 6 months, Nolan picked up a tablet calmly and revealed his masterstroke. He had traced all their bank accounts where the money was stored and handed all the details to Interpol. Hearing this, John refused flatly to work together again, but Bishop understood they had no choice. So what else could they do but obey Nolan?